CLUMPFAB, proper fabricator. Rust, rusty, rust, worse, rust, 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 crispy, tyre rubber here. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and I'm just about to drive to work in MAUDE, my moredoor MK2 ESCORT. Now this evening I'm going to be taking MAUDE back up to CLUMPFAB where Chris KEMBER, the owner, is going to be taking care of a little bit more welding. Now those of you who have been watching my videos a while will remember that Chris done an epic job of MAUDE's front end, and just to recap, we replaced both front wings, which are now bolt on, the slam panel, the radiator supports, the front cross member, which is behind the front panel, and the front panel itself was also replaced. He also added these RS strengthening pieces, and there's also another RS strengthening piece which you can't see because it's hidden behind the wing, and both sides had the wing rails replaced. And Chris also had to take care of a lot of rust on the splash guards, which again is hidden behind the wing down there, both sides. Now Chris KEMBER is a very talented bloke, so I highly recommend that if you need any welding done to your car, you definitely get in touch with him. I'll leave links to his Facebook page and his Instagram in the description of this video. Now the welding job this time is mainly going to be focused around this driver's side rear arch. I have put some fiberglass filler up here and some sealer down here just to make sure the car gets through the MOT basically, so that I can actually drive it down to see him today. Now there is another bit of rust up here, and again, you know, I've thrown a bit of fiberglass in it quite a while ago now, but yeah, it's definitely got worse. It was only a tiny little hole here, and now we've got a couple of bubbles coming up here. Now I'm not sure if that is something to do with water getting in through here, through this vent, and I might actually just delete these vents, both sides, to stop that happening in the future. But whatever is going on there, I reckon it's been running down because the bottom of this seal here is a bit rusty, and I actually changed both inner and outer seals on this car when I built it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's water running down from somewhere and collecting down there, and that is why it's rusty at the bottom of the seal there. Now when I first built this car, I also replaced this bottom section of the quarter panel, which is known as the tank well, because behind here is the fuel tank. I also put a plate in the bottom of the inner arch in there, and similarly I put a plate down there, so that might actually be all right. But what I did notice recently, and it's hard for me to show you without jacking the car and taking the wheel off, but basically this part here, which I guess you'd call the inner tub, there's a little bit of rust in this panel as well. Now, as is always the case, I'm expecting the job to grow, and I have noticed when other people have tackled a job like this on their Escorts, it does sort of, you know, spread internally, and they end up having to cut out quite a lot of the rear quarter panel, and you know, the rust goes into the rear windscreen aperture. You know, it could possibly even grow this way into the boot shut, and as you can see, there was a little bit of surface rust around this area, which I've had to sort of grind back and cover with sealer, and you can see that, you know, the rust stain is coming back through. We'll just see how bad things are once Chris starts cutting the metal away. Now I do already have inner and outer rear arch repair panels for the arch, and I'm sure, you know, any other plates that Chris needs to make up, he'll be able to make up on his own, because he is, after all, a proper fabricator. Now you'll notice that MAUDE isn't wearing a front grille, and that is because I threw the grille in the back of the car once I got the car back on the road after doing the clutch job, and I was planning to just screw it to the front of the car one day before work, but it actually got damaged, so I'm going to have to melt this together and then maybe add some araldite to fix it. I'm sure loads of you out there would probably say this is a great excuse to switch to round headlights, but I'm definitely not doing that. Anyway, I better get myself to work, and as soon as I finish work this evening, I'm going to be travelling straight up to CLUMPFAB. Right, let's get the day job out of the way, and I'll speak to you in a sec. And just like that, we jump straight into the evening, and work is done. So it's time for me to make my way to CLUMPFAB. CLUMPFAB is situated in Cambridgeshire in a place called Huntingdon, which I think is right next to a place called Warboys. And seeing as I'm in West London at the moment, it's a pretty long drive for me. The sat-nav saying it's going to take me about an hour and 45 minutes, but it's well worth the trip, especially seeing how talented Chris KEMBER is. And he's a really positive bloke as well, which is really important for me because I like to surround myself with positive people. Just gonna let MAUDE's engine warm up a little bit, and then I'll make my way out there. Alright, so I've made it to CLUMPFAB and I'm obviously here with the owner, Chris Kember. Thanks for agreeing to work on my old banger for the second time, and thanks for waiting around so late for me as well. I really appreciate that. Chris has actually got this old Sierra in at the moment, which he's been doing a bit of welding on. There's some rust in this area, which has all been replaced. This piece here he actually had to make up himself because he didn't have the arch panel, and there's a bit under the sill there as well that's been replaced. There's some other bits around the car which we can't see because the car's tucked in the corner. There's a bit of rust around this side that's yet to be done. Yeah, and there's some rust down at the front of this rear arch that Chris needs to sort out as well. And on the sill, in the past, someone's put a patch on there, but the owner's not happy. He wants it done properly. Good to see Chris saving some more Fords. If Chris gets a chance to send over some more detailed pictures of the jobs that he's done on the Sierra, I'll post them up on my social media so you lot can have a look. As you can see, Maude is already on the ramp. On the way here, I did notice some smoke coming out the bonnet, just coolant steam. And when I put the coolant hose back onto the radiator the other day, I basically haven't orientated it in a way that it's far enough away from the crank pulley, but it doesn't look too damaged. Just be able to cut the end off and fix that to get it home, but we won't worry about that for now because we're here to sort out some rust. So I suppose we'll jack it up and take the wheel off and see how much graft you've got to do. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, and I wasn't able to show you, there is some rust on this panel here. This bit isn't too bad, but yeah, towards the back is a little bit more crispy. So that might be something that Chris has got to deal with as well. Plenty of tyre rubber here. But yeah, I did put a plate in the bottom here when I put the car together, and also this bottom here, this side. So hopefully that'll all still be solid. But yeah, the seal has started to go at the bottom here, but I did replace the seals, so I'm guessing that water's getting in somewhere, but I'm sure once Chris starts cutting it, he'll see what's what. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier on, the fuel tank is on this side. You can see the fuel hose there. And obviously it's going to be dangerous to do any welding around this area with the tank still in. So to give Chris a bit of a head start on the job, we're going to remove the tank tonight. Because I've got this electric fuel pump in the boot, I've got the fuel pipe coming into the boot here, and the hardline fuel pipe is just connected to this rubber fuel pipe with this Jubilee clip. So we're just going to undo that. And then there's only 2 bolts holding the tank in because the ones that are supposed to be at the bottom of the tank are missing. And then there's just 3 screws behind the fuel cap, and then we can pull the tank out. This tank spout has become stuck. Sorted. If in doubt, get the persuader out. All right, we'll get Jerry ready, and hopefully we won't spill too much fuel. You've got a bit of wood. Sweet. Hopefully there's less than 5 litres in there. Chris has put a bolt in the end of this pipe just to stop dirt going in and stop any fuel coming out. I've got a feeling there might be more than 5 litres in there. There shouldn't be more than 10 litres in there. With the tank out of the way, it's one less thing that Chris has got to do tomorrow, and any little spillages will obviously evaporate away overnight. Safety first and all that. All right, Chris, I'll leave her with you. Thanks again. I know you're going to keep us updated with pictures and stuff, which I really appreciate. I'll see you in a little while. Definitely. Thanks. Into the next day. Now, we got back from CLUMPFAB quite late last night, but as I say, it's well worth the trip up there, and I'm really glad that Maude is in such good hands, and I can't wait to see how her rear arch comes out. Today, I'm supposed to be travelling up to see my parents, and I should be there by now, to be honest, but I've been so busy packing all your merchandise orders. So many people buying the new mugs. One person bought 4 of them. There's a couple of people that have bought 2. There's even a couple going to Finland. I'm really happy with how the mugs came out, and I'm really happy that loads of you are too. Now, at the moment, there's actually only 4 Ester mugs left, and the Maude ones are running out fast as well. I'm not sure if there's going to be any left by the time this video goes live, but yeah, I want to send a massive thanks out to everyone who has been ordering them. And also, massive thanks to my beautiful girlfriend Kat for helping me pack them all. Now, I thought I'd give you a quick insight actually into the process we go through when we are packing these orders. Right, so a lot of people that are selling merch like this online, they never actually even see or touch the stock. It all just gets drop shipped from another location, but that's not the way I like to run things. Now, all my mugs come in these boxes, and I like to open up every single one and check the mugs for any defects. Then once I'm happy, I'll put it back in this box along with a free sticker which comes with every mug. Then this gets wrapped in bubble wrap, and then I've invested in loads of these boxes. So once this is wrapped in bubble wrap, that goes into that box, and I always include a handwritten note with every order as well. And yeah, just wrap it up nice and securely so that hopefully it will survive its trip through the Royal Mail. As I said in the last video, if you did miss out on the mugs this time, I will be getting more made at some point, but maybe not straight away, because I'm working on some other merchandise projects at the moment. If you want to support the channel by grabbing some merch, just head over to marcushayesuk.com, and I'll leave a link to the website in the description of this video. So as I say, I'm going to be visiting my parents in Northampton today, but there is a couple of things I want to do before we leave. Alright, so first on the agenda is to cut this old garage door into more manageable pieces. We have been trying to get someone to come and pick it up for free, but because it's so big and not that heavy, no one wants to come and pick it up for free. So the trusty reciprocating saw will hopefully do the job. The reciprocating saw ran out of battery. Have to wait for the saw to charge back up again. Yeah, while we're waiting for the saw to recharge, there is a thing we need to do on Winston, the plastic Fiesta.
This side, yeah, this one.
Did you get the right bulb?
I hope so.
So we need to change this back bulb in the headlight. Annoyingly, the fuse box is right in the way, so we're going to have to remove the headlight, but it's not difficult. I did have a look earlier to see if I was able to do it without removing the light, and I dropped the dust cover down there somewhere, so hopefully we'll be able to fish that out as well. So I think it's just a case of undoing these two. Clip survived. Take this plastic clip out of the plastic car so that you can wedge the plastic bumper out of the way to remove the plastic headlight. Is the bulb made of plastic? No. Oh, that didn't sound good. Got the dust cover though, which is rubber. Looks the same-ish. Don't think you're supposed to touch the end of the new one though.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Plastic clips back in the plastic car.
Hey!
Yeah?
Yep.
Right, so it's the next day, and the reciprocating saw ran out again yesterday, so I wasn't able to cut the garage door up. But this morning I managed to finish cutting it up, so it's now small enough to get in the back of Winston to take to the tip, but we'll do that another day. Also, this morning I've been packing yet more orders. The pile for the post office is getting pretty big now. Yesterday, when we went to provide care and assistance to my parents, I gave them one of each of the new mugs and they love them too. Chris KEMBER at CLUMPFAB sent me some update pics on Maude's rear arch job. As is usually the case, he came across more rust than was expected. He also had to deal with a couple of really ropey repairs in the bottom corners of the inner arch. That would be me. And he had to get rid of about a ton of filler and sealer in the outer arch, which also would have been me. I'm going to be picking MAUDE up next weekend, which you'll be able to see in a separate video. But yeah, massive thanks to Chris at CLUMPFAB for all your hard work. I really appreciate it. So for now, I'm going to end this video here. If you did think it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new and you want to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to my social media, my website. I'll also leave my email address down there for anyone who wants to contact me. Also, check the links in the description to CLUMPFAB social media and their email address. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.